Hi there, I am MisterBo, and Crash Bandicoot 4 is 2 years old at this point, if you can believe it. And one of the main brand new additions with Crash Bandicoot 4 was the introduction of 4 brand new masks, the Quantum Masks. Now as you progress through the story of Crash Bandicoot 4, hopping from dimension to dimension, you would come across these masks, and they were Lani, Loli, Akano, Kapuna, and Uka Uka. And each mask gave you a certain ability to help you progress through levels. Now this brings up the question, will we be seeing the Quantum Masks in Crash Team Rumble? Again, they were a big part of Crash Bandicoot 4, Toys for Bob both made Crash Bandicoot 4 and are making Crash Team Rumble, and you would think in terms of the development side of things, bringing over assets to add into Rumble is definitely going to be a lot easier than making new assets. And I think the more options and variety with the sandbox when it comes to Rumble, the better for the game. So we're going to be discussing whether or not we'll be seeing the Quantum Masks, what they could do for gameplay, and whether or not we'll be seeing another set of 4 masks that maybe made an appearance in the Wrath of Cortex, and more recently, rest in peace, Crash on the Run. So when it comes to masks in Crash Team Rumble, we know Uka Uka and Aku are in the game. We've seen both of them in the key art, and we've seen more of Uka Uka in the trailer, where Coco uses him to summon down a meteorite strike, and we've also seen him as a pickup in some of the screenshots. We don't really know how they'll actually play in the game currently, whether or not Uka Uka simply always rains down a meteorite strike, or whether the masks basically activate the gimmick that each map seems to be having. Whether if you're on red team, Uka Uka spawns, whether if you're on blue team, Aku spawns, or maybe it's something where if you pick up Uka Uka, something bad happens to the map, or if you pick up Aku, something good happens to the map. We really don't know, and hopefully we'll get more information on that sometime soon. But for the moment, let's focus on the Quantum Masks. So do I think the Quantum Masks will be in Rumble? Yeah, I do. In some way, shape or form, I think the Quantum Masks will be in this game. Whether that's at launch, or maybe as some sort of extra edition with some sort of seasonal update, I don't know, but I think the Quantum Mask will be in this game, seeing as they were such a big part of Crash Bandicoot 4. So let's kind of break down what each mask could do in terms of gameplay when it comes to using them in Rumble, if they are indeed in this game. Starting off with Lani Loli, the first mask that you come across in Crash 4. Now Lani Loli grants you the ability to switch between phases in Crash Bandicoot 4. So you have crates that are sort of shaded blue, and if you switch phase, those crates will then be available for you to smash. Or there are platforms that are blue, and if you switch phase, those platforms will then come into existence, allowing you to step on them and progress through the level. That could be easily adapted to Crash Team Rumble in a number of different ways. One of those ways could be simply like we see in Crash 4, where there are certain crates around the map that are blue, and if you pick up or use Lani Loli, you can then switch those crates to be visible, granting you more Wumpa Fruit than the other team. Or the same with platforms that allow you to get to special crates or special items that you can then make visible. Or another cool way that you could implement Lani Loli's ability into Rumble is perhaps the other team suddenly lose all ability to actually hit any crates for a certain amount of time. All of their crates suddenly phase out and are all blue, meaning they can't actually gain any Wumpa Fruit for a certain amount of time. Though that might be a little bit too powerful, but again, it all comes in how these things are balanced. We then have Akano, and Akano's ability in Crash Bandicoot 4 was basically giving you a load of strength. You could basically continue to spin as Crash Bandicoot for an infinite amount of time, but also use that spin to allow you to hover around the map. It could be implemented in a similar way. Now, we don't know if all characters have a spin attack, they probably don't, but maybe it grants you the ability to use your main primary attack over and over and over again for a certain amount of time, and maybe increases your movement ability for a certain amount of time, reducing basically all your cooldowns, making you a pure aggressive player for 10 to 20 seconds, or however long that mask would last for. I think out of all the masks, Akano is definitely the one that I'm kind of struggling to work out how exactly it could work in the game, but of course if you guys have ideas, let me know in the comments below. We then have Kapuna. Now, we don't know how Entropy and Female Entropy are going to play into this game, what their abilities, what their moves are. Now obviously those are characters focused around time, and Kapuna is a mask focused around time. So if the Entropy characters don't have the ability to maybe either speed up time, boost your speed as a team perhaps, or slow down time for the enemy players, then maybe Kapuna could play into this. Activating Kapuna could slow down the enemy team for a certain amount of time so they're all running in slow motion, making it harder for them to get around and collect Wumpa Fruit, and at the same time maybe that speeds up your team, giving you a little boost, allowing you to collect Wumpa Fruit even faster. And then we have Uka Uka. Now in Crash Bandicoot 4, Uka Uka allows you to reverse gravity, allowing you to walk on the ceiling, allowing you to then get through certain sections of platforming. Now obviously we've seen from the trailer that the one map that we know about so far doesn't have a roof, so reversing the gravity wouldn't really do much, it would send you up into space. However, there are a couple of ways I think they could get around this. Firstly, a visual flip for the enemy team. Their whole screen flips upside down. So now they're looking at the game upside down, trying to work out how to platform and get around the map for, again, a certain amount of time. That would probably cause a lot of confusion and definitely give you a 1-up whilst that is active. The other way they could maybe implement Uka Uka into this game is a reversal of your controls. Up is now down, down is now up. On an Xbox controller, A is now Y and Y is now A. It just completely flips all your controls around, so you've got to try and work out, oh wait, hold on a minute, this button does this button does that. Again, it could really add some chaos into gameplay here, though maybe that's pushing it a little bit too far. A simple flip of the screen might be the better way to go there. So those are the abilities that I imagine if the Quantum Masks are to make it into the game, they could add to gameplay. Of course, the Quantum Masks could play some completely different role in this game and not even be power-ups in a match. Or they might just not be present at all in the game. We'll have to wait and see. Now there are also another 4 set of masks that could be implemented into Rumble. Now I think they're less likely than the Quantum Masks, but they are Rocco, Wawa, Pyro and Lolo. Earth, Wind, Fire and Water. Now I'm not going to go through what each of these abilities could do in the game like we did with the Quantum Masks, because I do think it's less likely we will be seeing the Elemental Masks than the Quantum Mask in Rumble. But that isn't to say that we won't see them. In fact, there might even be some hints and some clues in the Crash Bandicoot 4 files that suggest that we could be seeing the Elemental Mask thanks to a data miner called Ditto who basically combs through Crash Bandicoot 4 and has definitely found some interesting stuff that seems to relate to Crash Team Rumble. But you do need to remember that things in the files don't always indicate what we're going to be seeing in the finished product, and of course these are files for Crash Bandicoot 4. Yes, the games are very similar in terms of how they're being developed, but again that doesn't indicate what we'll be seeing in Rumble. However, for me it feels like the Elemental Masks would fit into more sort of abilities than power-ups. Earth, Wind, Fire and Water feel like they would be more of attacks than just things that happen in the map like we mentioned with the Quantum Masks. So let me know in the comments below, do you think the Quantum Masks will make it into this game and will have certain abilities that we can use when we're in an actual match? Do you think the Elemental Masks could make it into this game, and if so, what kind of abilities do you think they could have? Or maybe you have an idea of how you think Uka Uka and Aku Aku actually play in this game. Whether it's simply determined if you're on red team or blue team as to who spawns and they both essentially do the same thing, or if Uka Uka does some sort of evil thing to the map like we see in the trailer and Aku Aku does something good in the map. Or do you think we'll be seeing any other masks that we've seen in the Crash universe? For instance, the Velo mask, and even I believe it was called the Apu Apu mask from Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled that appeared in Rustland, which was basically an amalgamation of Uka Uka and Aku Aku from the Mind Over Mutant and Crash on the Titan games. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you did enjoy this video, click that like button, and if you're not already, subscribe for more Crash Team Rumble content and coverage. We are heading into 2023, the year that Crash Team Rumble finally comes out, and I'm sure we're going to be getting a ton of information leading up to that launch, whenever it might be, and you can expect me to cover all of that here for you on this channel. If you do want to stay up to date with myself or the videos that I put up, you can follow me over on Twitter at IamMisterBo. Check out either of the 2 videos on screen now where I talk about how different characters in Rumble may be put into different classes / roles, and a video where I go over what is likely the full roster of characters in Crash Team Rumble, all 14 of them, thanks to a teaser image on the Crash Bandicoot website. Apart from that though, thank you very much for watching and for hanging out with me, I do super appreciate it. Hopefully I'll catch you around, but until then, as always, make sure you take care. Cheers.